I'm with Ed Harrison and Evan Leek from Dassault Systems. Guys, it's great to have you with us as we get to the end of this conference, or at least day two. So you've been walking around and talking with a lot of people. What are some of the things that you're hearing? What's the buzz? I see people being excited. What are you guys hearing?
I've been to probably this is my fifth of these events I've been to, and I feel like this year it's gotten away from a lot of the specifics about software and feeds and speeds and really getting into broader innovation issues. I think people are excited from some of the customer talks that are happening. There's been a lot of, just from a social media point of view, a lot more interaction this time than in the past, I think. And it feels more like a participatory event where it's not just a lot of people in a room sort of sitting and hearing people read from PowerPoints. It's been really a lot of conversations happening, which is really good. And I think people are excited about a lot of the innovations that are happening here.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think one of the things that we've noticed as well is in terms of conversations, they're not just happening kind of out in the open here, that they're happening on back channels, they're happening on Twitter, they're happening through blogs or videos, and we're certainly kind of supporting that and showing that there's kind of a multifaceted approach. And I think as well, kind of the undercurrent to a lot of the conversations that have been having, people are talking about innovation, but they're not just talking about, how can we be innovative and collaborate, but it's more focusing on how can you, really strategize, come up with a plan and execute and really think through, as a complete action and figure out kind of where the payoff is there as well.
I think, and the cool thing here too, the diversity of just customer stories from, we saw a film today about the ice dream, about the guy with the dream of towing an iceberg, Johnson & Johnson, electric cars, such a broad range of solutions that are happening and people using technology to do that. It's really neat.
I have to say, it is pretty amazing to be in an event where you have so many different industries and so many different business problems that are being addressed. And I want to piggyback on the whole thing around innovation, because that's sort of something near and dear to my heart. How would you guys define it? Like, what does it mean to you, and what do you think it means to your customers? Because it actually has a lot of different meanings depending on who you talk to. So I'm just curious what you guys think.
I'm going to let you feel this one.
Oh, geez. Okay. I think, innovation can mean something completely different to everyone, and I think it's nice that way, because there shouldn't be kind of a cookie cutter blanket approach to kind of how you can see yourself being innovative. I think one of the most important things is really just getting people to, I think it's very easy for us, especially in this field, to get very compartmentalized and siloed, and I think we, especially with technology, we can allow ourselves to kind of get lost in that and just be surrounded by too many like-minded people. So I think in kind of a more general idea, being innovative is really just kind of finding ways to think differently or look at something from a completely different angle and finding what works for you or as a team to think that way. Whether it's setting up offices to have people from different departments or different places to come in and talk, or just simple games to just think of just throw things out that you never know where an idea is going to spark. So. Really coming up with a plan of attack that benefits your company, your team, or your product.
I think one of the things I heard in one of the talks today was a little bit about crowdsourcing, and I think a lot of times people think if you have a crowd helping you solve a problem, you're going to get all these broad range of ideas, but people tend to choose like-minded people to do these things with, and you may be inadvertently being, I guess, discriminatory in that sense, where you're not getting every idea or looking at things from as many points of view as possible. So just thinking about some of those ideas and sort of challenging the concepts of, crowdsourcing must be good because it means everybody gets a chance to participate. Well, you need to do it the right way, I guess. Some of the just ideas like that take some common held beliefs, at least in our industry, and kind of turn them around a little bit. I think some of those discussions were great.
Well, if you ever want to grab a coffee and talk about crowdsourcing, I've got a million opinions on that one.
I've heard about that, yes.
Well, one of the things which, I have to say that, your products and everything that you do, there's some amazing things, but as you look to the future, I see some things on the horizon that Dassault Systems doing, whether it's with the museums or with education. What are some of the things from your perspective that you actually think is game-changing, either from an industry perspective or game-changing from a societal perspective?
Well, we work with their PR firm, so one of our jobs is to basically find a way to tell their story to the broadest possible audience. And what we've done in the last year is try to take some of the really cool and unique stories about things that Dassault is doing, and they may not be the ones that are selling the most widgets for them, but they're the most interesting stories. There's the ice dream, there's the Giza example with the MFA in Harvard University, and just taking these really amazing stories that are beyond sort of CAD and PLM and any other any other acronym like that. And really just talk about things that people care about and talking about ways to use technology to solve problems that I don't think anyone thought was possible. And I think really making, when I try to think of a way to describe what Dassault does in a non-technical way, it's almost like a dream factory in a lot of ways. Like there are things that they're making possible that you don't even think could possibly happen. And they're using amazing technology to do that. And I think the more we can talk about it at that level and share that sort of story, I think the better off our customers will be. And it sounds kind of heavy-handed to say this, but maybe even society at large. There's a lot of good things that can come out of this.
Well, and I think everything, a lot of their solutions everything is so visual. They talk about creating lifelike experiences, and you can throw that term out, and you can write all the the releases and blog posts you want. But I think one of the great things about being here is that you see this stuff. I mean, you can see 3D printer, 3D technology, be able to put on a visor and physically touch something in a virtual environment. And I think talking about like new ways of thinking is really just kind of expanding kind of what's the possibilities just within your own mind to create things. Being at a place like this where you have it all side by side is amazing. I think the more you can kind of put this stuff in front of people and show it to them, I think is going to pay off significantly.
Just a quick anecdote to share. I have 2 kids, a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they have no idea what Daddy does. I do public relations for tech companies, no idea. I took my son to a video gaming event that 3DV and Dassault were involved in, and he got to play this game where it was basically using video games to help kids learn how to brush their teeth better. And he's like, "Wow, I understand what your clients do. I understand what you do." And for a day, he thought I was extremely cool, so it was great. So I think those sort of anecdotes that you can share to the broadest number of people are really the best way to tell the story.
And I think the notion of play or gaming have really changed and altered over the past just couple of years. And as Francois was talking about earlier, the idea of everyone likes accolades, everyone likes to kind of have titles, and we like to hoard them. But if we can figure out how to kind of enact play or use gaming for the greater good, and really understand what are the basic tenets of a game that make people want to play them, and then how can we turn that around and use it for crowdsourcing or fundraising or innovation or collaboration. If we can figure out how to continue that, I think you're gonna reach a larger demographic. I mean, kids today are hardwired in the head with kind of that just being able to kind of pick up a piece of technology and know how to use it. It's just hardwired into their brain, and so we're almost at a disconnect if we can't figure out how to use these technologies to, take the ways they're used to engaging with it and use it for something, different or better.
Well, I just want to build on one of the words used, which was visual. Mm-hmm. I actually think what they bring to the table is experiential. I mean, it's because we've had visual for a while. Now we're actually having the ability to be immersed in the reality and actually experience it as we would in the real world.